Hello and welcome back. So in this segment of the tutorial, what we're going to be covering is the priming stage. Now these are the parts that we cleaned up in the last video. I did mention that when cleaning the parts there's no need to wash all the runner and then do work on it, create dust and then wash it all again. So what I do, like I said, I take it off the runner, I do what I have to do to it, I mount it, and then I use some of this stuff which is isopropyl alcohol. You can get this off eBay or you can get it from Mappin, etc. Put a small amount on some cheap kitchen towel, get your piece, just take it off there and give it a wipe. Now this will remove all your fingerprints, dust, etc. and it will just make it better for when you come along with your primer, and that's it. It's as easy as that. That's done. Right, we'll mount this back on here now. And we'll do the same with the rest. I'll do that later. Same again. You can see where we've scuffed it up with the sanding stick, and don't worry about lint coming off the kitchen towel. You know, it's just cheap kitchen towel. You can blow it off with your airbrush before you start spraying the primer on. As you can see, it is really cheap. It's just falling to bits. Never mind. So we'll remake that, and the last bit there. There are some other parts, but I'm going to be priming them in black, so I'll do them off camera. Right then, so that's them done and they're ready for priming. Now I'm going to move the camera over to the other side so you can see what I'm doing. I'll be back shortly. So we're at the spray bay now, and right then, priming. So how do you want to go about this? If you have an airbrush, great, you can use an airbrush primer, but when you're first starting out, the things that you're more likely going to come across are your rattle cans. Now I've got three here. This is a Citadel Skull White. Not bad, but a little bit bumpy. No offence to Humbrol, but I would avoid using this Humbrol acrylic as it's really lumpy and bumpy. The one that, however, I do advise is the Tamiya Surface Primer. It's as flat as a pancake when it goes on. It is very smelly. You will have to do it outside, along with the other rattle cans actually. Spray bays are okay, but the amount of pressure that comes out of a can, you get a kickback, so it'll hit the back wall of the spray bay, won't get extracted, and you'll get particles flying back at you. So even so, may have a spray bay, but please wear a mask when you're dealing with any of these, because they are a little bit nasty and they're not very nice. So right then, airbrush. My primer of choice is the Vallejo polyurethane surface primer. Comes in a variety of colours. These are just the three that you usually pick up, but it comes in greens, greys, sand colours, you know, quite a wide range of what you want it for. So these are what I'm going to be using. As a matter of fact, for all these pieces I'm going to be using just the white, and they also come in a much larger bottle as well. So I'm going to be using the white today. So I've got my airbrush set at, I think it's just a little over 10 psi, and I'm going to turn the extractor on now. Today I'm going to be using an Iwata Revolution CR, and nice little airbrush. I've been using it since I brought it a few weeks back, and I'm okay with that. Right then, just put a small amount in the colour cup. No need for thinning, just goes on straight away. Give it a bit of a test spray. Now with the Vallejo primer, as it's polyurethane, you think that it's not going down right, but it's just the way it acts. It's not like a lacquer where it just sticks to the paint, spreads out, and that's it, it's on. This, you have to take your time a little bit, but you do get a good result. So then, I've cleaned this piece off, don't forget, and I'm just very lightly dusting the area on quite a low psi, like I said, just a little over 10 psi, and you can see that primer starting to build up now. You don't want to go any faster than this, because what will happen, it will pool up like you haven't cleaned your surface off at all, but you know you have. It's just the way that the primer works, I suppose. But some people have a problem with it. You know, I don't, because all you've got to do is take your time. Right then, start building up a little bit more now. The compressor's kicked in, so apologies. These parts there as well, because they'll be exposed on the outer part of the shield. There you go, nice constant, keep it moving, don't let it pool up. Now you can see it really building up now. Right then, so let it have a dry, and now we'll do it the old fashioned way of start and stop either side of the job. Up, down, left and right. But now that'll go on a lot easier now you've took the time to just those few coats on. Well, one big coat I suppose, and it'll have something to grip to, because if you go for it straight away, like I said, it does tend to pool up, etc., and it doesn't look very good and you think you've ruined the job. But if you take your time, it'll all be good. Okay then, coming very nearly to the end of this now. Don't forget to get those insides there, because they'll be exposed on the outer shield. And that, just a few more sprays around the top there, make sure I've got this collet area. That looks pretty much done to me, so I'm happy with that. Okay then, I would show you this, but it's hard to see at the best of times, let alone on camera. So once all these pieces have been primed, I'll come back to you and we'll see how they've done. So I'll see you in a short while. Okay then, so those pieces have been primed. There you go. But whilst I'm here, I might as well show you my method of doing a colour change on the airbrush. It's really easy. This is primer. I'm not going to put it back in the bottle, but sometimes there's no harm in throwing what paint you got left in your colour cup back in your bottle. What I do is I tend to use just plain water, and I irrigate out what's left inside the colour cup. So I'm doing this left-handed, so it's a little bit difficult. See that? I use the jet of water to blast it away from just where the paint sits at the bottom. You can see there, I'll give that little squirt, and that leaves just the residue that's left at the top. Zoom you in. Yeah, you can just see the bottom of the colour cup is clear where the paint was wet, so you do that. Right then, use a good airbrush cleaner. I've got the Vallejo stuff there, and I've also got the stuff from Ultimate as well. They're both alcohol based, or you can just use isopropanol alcohol mixed with a bit of water itself. But what you want to do is I'm going to use the Vallejo stuff for now, because I'm using Vallejo paint. Just get a little bit in the colour cup. Now you can either come along with a cotton bud or a paintbrush. I'm going to use the cotton bud technique. Just go down the sides of the colour cup, removing all that's there. Right, this stuff here, do not blow it through your airbrush, because you might have strands of the cotton bud, and that'll go through into your nozzle, and it could block your nozzle, not much, but you know. So what we do with that, we dump that out, and we go back in with the water again. Let's give it a quick swirl. Have a little look. There you go. Ready. Straight away for another. Just give it a quick wipe if you want, but you shouldn't have to. But if you want to blow through it again with a little bit, I mean the tiniest amount, just to make sure that that nozzle's clear, get yourself your paint station, and then that's it. You've got a nice clean airbrush ready for the next colour, which for me is primer. So that's how I very quickly do a colour change on my airbrush, and I'll see you in the next segment. Okay, so these pieces have been primed now, all of them, and what I'm going to do now on this piece is a technique called pre-shading. Now what this does, it stops the shield when it's fully painted from looking like a big block of white. What we're going to do, we're going to emphasise some areas on the shield, panel lines, corners, etc., and we're going to give it a darker colour. So when we come in with the top coat, the pre-shade will show through. Right then, so pre-shading. A little rule that I like to use is, if you're doing white, I don't like to pre-shade it with black, because it takes a lot of coats of the white to get the pre-shading where you like it. So start with a grey, and then there's less coats of that to go over. But your black, yeah, it does have its place. Greens, greys, blues, you know, things like that, dark colours. Now, for instance, if I was doing red, I'd probably pre-shade with a whole red, a dark brown or an umber, burnt umber, something like that, and then come in with the red over the top, and you blend it down until you get the effect that you're after. But for these purposes, we're going to be using the I think, yeah, XF19 Sky Grey, and then coming in over the top with the flat white. So what I'll do now, I'll pull away, and I'll get straight in with the pre-shading. Slowly building up the layers. Right, don't worry about if you make mistakes like this, because the paint is quite thin. Oh, by the way, I've got the airbrush pressure set to about 12 psi, something around that region. But it doesn't make any difference if you do it neat or if you do it scruffy. It's the end effect that you're after. So let's carry on with this part here. As you can see, the effect that it's already having. I'm using a 0.2 needle with the eye water. This is the eye water 8CPH, by the way. The lines don't have to be. The lines don't have to be super crisp and sharp. If anything, it does lend itself better the effect by having a more blurred edge, and that way it blends it into the top coat better. I'm just going to take my needle guard off here. I think my nozzle needs a bit of a clean. Oh yeah, when cleaning the needle, what I do, I just already have some thinner on this cotton bud, so just top and bottom of the needle and just pull it away to the tip of the needle, and that should be enough just to. Okay, now we're going to carry on with this side. Areas of interest, you pick them out, all the panel lines, all the recesses. Doesn't have to be super good, like I said, you know, you can just get it on scruffy, pick out all these circles that I put in yesterday, and all you're doing, as the name suggests, you're creating shadow before the colour goes down. Around all the edges, all the panel lines. Around all the details. Obviously you can go as mad as you like with this, or as subtle as you like. I tend to do this quite subtly, like I said, using the grey, that helps, and then a couple of good outer sprays with the white, and that's pretty much it for me. But I'm going to go around these parts now. You see, just shading in the edges and leaving a nice light centre, and that'll show through later on. So this part here. Don't worry about spits and stuff like that. Like I said, you'd be amazed at what you can cover up with the white paint and what you can leave behind. Now just this part down here, and then we're done. So, see a little bit more there. So there you have it. That part is now pre-shaded and ready for its top coat. The other parts I'm not going to pre-shade, obviously, because this is going to be a dark blue, so it's going to have a base colour straight on, then it's going to be highlighted with the final colour of the blue, and that's all that needs. And the same for the other piece. The other pieces are going to be metallic, and that piece there I'm going to be doing like a cherry red, like Alclad, but that's another part of the paint tutorial. But for now, your pre-shading part of the tutorial is done. So that was very easy. Yes, look at it, examine it, it's a little bit scruffy, but it will lend itself later on to the finished piece. So there you go. Again, we're going to clean out the airbrush like I did earlier on. Just tip the paint back into your back into the jar. Don't forget to replace the needle guard if you haven't done so already. And that, for me, my friends, is it. So until the next time, thank you very much for watching. Have a practice on your pre-shade, and I'll see you with the next segment very soon, which is all about the painting. Bye bye.